top off with some coffee. How are you doing this morning? Who else gonna jump in here? Let's see. Who do we get? Who be coming? There's Scott. Good morning. Scott has made it. Hope everyone's doing all right. Looks like it's just you and I, Scott, for the moment. Oh, there's another one. There's another thumbs up anyway. Someone else has jumped in. So we made quite a bit of progress yesterday on the DIY steel kit, cutting copper, shaping pieces, getting things ready. GTD, good morning. We've got, there's Motor City, back in the saddle again. How'd the move go? Y'all settled in pretty good? So here in a little bit, I'll take you guys out there and show you the progress we've made on the steel. We've got the pot, top, bottom, or the cone, the bottom, the cylinder, all of it is cut and ready to go. We got our tri-clamps in yesterday, late yesterday evening. So we'll be able to put that on top of the cone. Then we can start working on the cap itself. Move was shit. Yeah, they always are. 3/4 settled. Well, 3/4 settled is not bad. It takes a while to get things settled, unpacking and organizing a new place. Stack Silver Golden Moonshine. David, good morning. Machinist, good morning. Mud Grips. People are jumping in now. There's Russell Fox. This is an open live today. Normally these lives are members only, but this is Thursday, so open live. There's Miss Joe Parks. Good morning. Today we'll be doing a bunch of soldering on the steel, so we got several of the pieces cut. And yeah, Machinist, I'll here in just a second, I'll take y'all out there and let you look at the progress we got going. It's done. Yeah, let me just get a couple more sips of coffee before we go out there. I don't like how the lighting is getting dark and light. Imagine that's some kind of setting on my phone that's making it do that. I don't like that. My other camera, the normal camera that I use to record videos, doesn't do that. So that probably won't be a problem. But this is annoying me how it's getting light and dark. Not enough of a whiz to know exactly what's causing that. All right, let's go out there. Let's go out there and take a look. All right, so here's what we got so far. The different pieces. We don't have anything soldered together yet. So stuff is just clamped in place. That's the cone. This is the pot. We've got the bottom down in. All the pieces are fitting really nicely. and we'll get some soldering done today, but then that's gonna go up there like that. And then we've got the tri-clamp. That's 2 ferrules and a clamp. We'll put a collar on it, and then that will go on top of the cone. I may make that collar a little shorter though. That's 2.5 inches, and that seems to be, I don't know, kind of tall. I'm not sure I like that. But yeah, we still got, I don't know, half a sheet of copper left. And then we've got to make the cap, line arm, condenser. We're going to do a Liebig condenser on this one. And I think it was somebody had mentioned, I think it might have been Mud Grips, had mentioned like putting numbers and signing the first however many, which I kind of like that idea. It's a little fun and silly. Let's see what I miss here. There's Terry. Good morning. Shine On Controllers. Jason in the house. Who else did I miss? GTD. But yeah, so I think, maybe we'll do, what I was thinking is we might do a pre-launch of the first 10, and the first 10 will have, be numbered 1 through 10, and then signed or stamped or something special that the rest of them won't have. And maybe we do a pre-launch and sell those ahead of time. What do you guys think about something like that? 1 to 5 gallon steel only take half a sheet of copper. Yeah, I think that's about right, Frank. Tom, good morning. I gotta keep leaning forward just to see this. We gotta do something a little different here. Make this easier on myself. There we go. Mud Grips, not exactly, don't have a price nailed down. We're aiming for a price of around $400 for the 5 gallon. Local grocery store has pineapple for $1.19 each. What you think about pineapple, wheat, and oats? That sounds like a nice mountain brandy to me. The only thing you got to watch with pineapple is your pH. Pineapple's pretty acidic and wants to drop that pH. That's all you got to do with pineapple. Thursday Night Lives are not almost ready. I'm not sure when they're coming back, brother. They will eventually, but right now that's just kind of on the back burner. Thursday Night Lives on Voodoo message sent on school. Terry, are you saying Voodoo sent me a message? I will check that. I will check school when I get off here. Yeah, so a pre-launch, and once we know exactly, right now we don't even know what costs we have into it exactly. And so once we figure that out, we'll get a price breakdown and set a price. and I'm hoping to catch it around $400, which is about the same as like a 5 gallon Olympic. Happy Thursday, Hawk Spirit. Sent to Voodoo. Okay, I was confused there. Gotcha. Cyrus, I did send you a message yesterday. Okay, I'll check, brother. Alan, good to see you in here. How corn and dried cherries together? Corn and cherries do well together. That's a nice little mountain brandy, also. Yeah, I like them together. I've done that before. Turned out very nice. Terry suggesting dried cherries. Well, I hope everyone's doing all right today. I'm pretty excited about today because we get to start doing actually soldering some pieces together. Um, Halfway moved to new steel site. Should be back to running this weekend. Nice. Got her nice tucked back in a nice little hidey hole. Then wasn't you saying he was like 3 counties away or something like that? That's a bit of a drive, I think. I think if I had to drive that far every time, I just wouldn't make much. Will you be including flux for stainless steel kits, such as some ruby flux? I don't know. I've got to look at where I can get it, what sizes I can get it in. Um, but I will certainly be considering all of that. I'll be considering if we can include all the flux, all the solder, a torch. Like the more we can include, the better. And it might also be that at one price point there's just the copper, right? And then like at an ultimate price point, which would be obviously higher, you might get a torch and flux and solder and everything you need. We'll have to play around with that, and it'll all depend on the numbers, because obviously I want to keep the cost as low as I can keep it, but then also it's got to be profitable for the business. Iowa Free Thinker, good to see you again. Been a minute. My peach mash is still fermenting and going 19 days. Is that normal? Yeah, I mean, 19 days is a while, but it's also wintertime. Things move slower in the winter. Just not a lot you can do about it unless you want to use like a turbo or something like that. Soldering today and shining soon. That's right. Yeah, the Dayton made his first batch of mash. He did a super simple yesterday here in the shop. It's hiding out in a bathroom with a heater so it can finish. It's an Airbnb that's closed for the season. A couple of handshakes sealed the deal. Well, hell yeah, that sounds nice. So an indoor deal. What type flux you use? Stainless to copper. It's a liquid flux called Ruby, and I haven't even used it yet. This is a suggestion from several people in the community, so I'm going to pick some up and try it. I really wanted to get a deal on peaches over the summer, but never happened. Damn it, man. Reboiled rye mash still refused to ferment. Decorated the ditch with it. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Well, there's Trickster. I hadn't seen Trickster in a minute either. Morning. Good to see you in here. I think some of the YouTube channel members are not getting notifications of the members only lives because when I go live, when I do an open live, more members show up than typical. I don't know if that's true or not, but a suspicion. Tiger Shine has a video on ruby flux and stainless. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, machinist. Lipton, good morning. Dwayne, good morning. Warm up my coffee a little bit. We also did some work on the new clamping tool that we're developing. I think we've got some work still to do on that, and I think the way things are looking, we may end up with a final product that we just send to a machinist and have these tools machined. First day of vacation and done shit yet. Well, that's, that's what vacation's for. You don't know me. Good morning. I'm very new to distilling. Still got delivered this week. Still got delivered this week. Now to start my first mash this weekend. Any tips on getting it to ferment in the cold? Just living. So you gotta keep it warm. If you have a space indoors where you have controlled temperature, that's the best option. If you're not going to be doing it inside, then it's got to be in a shed or a garage, and you're going to have to heat it in some way. So you might have, like, if it's a small shed, you might have a heater in there to heat the whole place. You can get heater blankets. People use those. You can get aquarium heaters and drop it down in. People use those. You can get heat mats. People use those, and insulation is your friend. So wrap your fermenter with a blanket, like a moving blanket or something like that. Whatever you can do to keep it warm, that you just got to do it. So I'll keep it off of a floor. If you have like a concrete floors just suck the heat out of things when they're sitting on them. So don't let it sit directly on a floor. Even if you have like a crawl space, don't let it sit directly on a floor. Put a pallet or some foam or something under it. What is just living? What type of mash are you doing for your first one? Been the best I can taking care of my mama with the dementia. It's taking it out of me. Man, Trickster, I hate to hear that, brother. That's tough, man. You just got to do the best you can. I'm sure you are. Lager yeast likes colder temps. That's true. Mud Grips brings up a good point. You can use a lager yeast, and it's easier to get things to ferment because the temperature range for lagers is lower. Submersible aquarium heater wrapped up with a sleeping bag. What is the ideal temp range for ferments? The whatever yeast you're using, it will say on the yeast. If you're using like a daddy yeast, the ideal range is like 75 to 80. Also, the yeast, you can look up the temperature range for whatever yeast you're using on Google, and it'll give you a range, and it might say 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. The 65 is on the colder end is going to take longer. The hotter end is going to go quicker. A lot of people complain, don't like to do things on the hotter end because of off flavors. I don't find that to be true myself, but especially, and that's mostly the beer guys, they like to keep things on the cooler end. Sleeping bags are good as well. 58-gallon fits right down into my old 30 Arctic bag. Nice. Your simple corn mash I found on your channel. Okay, but great. That is an excellent first run. The Duke is in the house. Miss hanging with my shining friends. We miss you, Trickster. I'm glad you got to hang out for a bit this morning. I think I will take everyone back out and show them the still. For those of you that came in late after I did the tour of the DIY steel build, also haven't come up with a name for the kit. So right now I think the working name. So this is the 5-gallon still. We've got the cone built. Nothing is soldered together yet. We're just dry fitting everything. The bottom is in it. And then this the first iteration of this still is going to have a Liebig. It's going to have a 4-inch clamp on the top for the cap. There's the collar that I was shaping this morning, which I think I'm going to change because it's a little too tall. I don't like it. So that's what we've got going on so far. Let's see. What did I miss? What did I miss? I'll be using bread yeast until my yeast I ordered from your website comes in. Well, the yeast, you should be getting the yeast anytime because we're caught up. We're completely caught up on orders except for what came in yesterday. And Dayton is getting those put together right now. Copper Kettle Conclave Kit. That's funny. The title I'm working on right now is Build a Still. The reason I'm kind of calling it Build a Still for now in my mind is at some point through this process, I think the product is going to develop into like a custom product where you will be able to put together a kit using options on the websites. So like what size pot? Do you want a coil? Do you want a Liebig? Do you want a thumper? And so you'll be able to just kind of block all these options together to create your own kit. And so I think I might call it Build a Still. That's what's in my head right now, though. Shiner Special, I like that. How's the new studio? It's coming. It's not quite finished. I'll back off into a corner here so you can get a good view. That's the set right there. It's going to have some shelving, some lighting and stuff like that. But got all the walls painted and everything. There's the computer set up. Got some carpet on the set. And so it's coming along. Be making videos very soon. In fact, I started working on some video plans yesterday to start getting ready. Thanks, Lipton. Still in the box. That's pretty clever. I like that one. Still in the box. Solder and shine. Some people build a bear. Cyrus builds a still. Damn, the new shop is sweet. Yeah, it's really nice having as much space as we have here. It's not as pretty as the other place, you know. It's a warehouse, but I like it. I got a 20-gallon still. Do I have to make a 20-gallon mash for a sacrificial run, or could I do? Yeah, you can do a 5 or 10-gallon. Just living. If you're running electric heat, the main thing you need to make sure of is that you don't use so little amount that you run your element dry. So if you have an element in there, make sure however many gallons you put in that still, that after you run some of that off, you don't dry out that element because it'll burn up. But yeah, you can do just your sacrificial run. You really only need to run for like 30 minutes, unless you want to use the sacrificial run as just practice. Then do a full sacrificial run, practice, running the steel, doing the cuts, everything. The Duke says content, content, content. The Duke will keep me in line, won't he? Yeah, absolutely. Got to start making videos. It's been a while. Adam getting his own film set. Not his own, no. Came a long way from a camper, brother. Don't you know it? That little tiny camper, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's grown a bit since then. True grit steels. I like that. My steel hasn't ran since July. I'll have to clean it with vinegar and do a sack run. Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. GTD, I still watch the camper videos. Yeah. It's propane. I'm in this hobby just to get started. It's north of 2,000. Got an aquarium heater, triple scale hydrometer, proofing hydrometer, 80 quart pot, and propane burner, yeast jars, buckets. Man, you're set. Shoot, yeah, man, you're set. Gordon Shinerman, good to see you. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to jump off here. As always, appreciate you jumping in here with me. And we will be working on the steel kit today, doing some soldering. We'll take pictures, put them over on School. If you're not familiar with School, there's a link down in the description here. The ABV Society, it's our little community over in School where we have classroom and all kinds of cool stuff. We will see you tomorrow.